In this video, we will discuss all of the features within MxAsset, which is A3J Group's mobile application for equipment operations for IBM Maximo. Start by clicking on the MxAsset icon. The first thing you'll need to do when you launch the app is log into your Maximo environment. You'll start by entering your Maximo URL, Maximo username, and Maximo password. Then click the Login button. MxAsset will then take you to a list screen where you can build a list of assets to take action on. You can do this in a number of ways. The first would be to search for assets using search terms. We can use terms like description of the asset, for example, pump. We can also search for all or part of an asset number, as well as a handful of other fields that are available to search on. Another way to search is by using the scanning capability. If we hit the little barcode icon next to that, the search bar, we can actually scan for a barcode or QR code and find the asset that we're looking for. If we touch the menu button in the upper left, we'll see some other search options, such as using saved queries from Maximo. If I touch on the Save Query option, you can see a list of queries that are available here with an indicator of how many assets are in that list. If I touch on the centrifugal pump query, I'll get a list back of assets that have the word centrifugal in it. If I clear that query, it'll take me back to the normal list. Next, I have a routes option. If I click on routes, it gives me a list of routes from Maximo with indicators of how many assets are in each route. If I click on our quarterly pumps route, it'll filter the list just down to those assets on the route. You can also see that we have the ability to sort the assets by the route stop sequence when a route is selected. Finally, we have the ability to conduct an inspection. Now, I'll come back to that one in a little bit. Okay, so what I'll do here is go ahead and scan again for my asset, find it, and this time I'm going to click on it. This takes me to the detail screen for an asset. On the main tab here, we've got information such as the asset's status, location, serial number, manufacturer, etc. On the second tab, we have a list of spare parts that fit that asset. The third tab, we have a list of meters that are available for that asset, and I can click into each meter and do one of three things. I can create a new meter reading, I can view historical meters, and I can trend those historical meter readings over time. In this case, we'll enter a new meter reading, click the Create Meter Reading button, and you can see as new meter readings are entered, a little green bar appears next to them indicating a recent reading was taken. If I go back to that meter and click the View button, I can see historically meter readings against this asset for inlet pressure. And if I click on the Trend button, you can see those historical readings on a trend chart, which I can then filter by year to date, month to date, week to date, and life to date. The next tab is the Work History tab. This shows a list of work orders that have been written in the past against this asset. I can even drill into the list of work orders to see further detail on the historical work orders. Lastly, we have the Attachments tab that shows any attachments to this asset. In this case, we have a picture of a pump. From the menu option in the upper left, we have a few different actions that we can take on this asset. If I click Edit Asset, it gives me the ability to edit the information that you see on the screen here. Please keep in mind that the information you see here is configurable. Can update the description, say update asset, and you can see that the description has been updated to include the word test. Next, we have the ability to create a work order. So if I walk up to an asset, I can scan its barcode and say, okay, I want to create a new work order. We're going to say pump is leaking. And you can also use the voice to text option here that comes with the mobile operating system's keyboard. Next, I'll choose a work type from our value list. Say next step, get a summary page, and then we can create a work order. Back on the home page, a couple other options here. We have the ability to go offline. So if you were to go offline, what you can do is to open up an asset, perform a transaction, such as inputting a new meter reading here, say 4750 PSI. And you can see not only the red bar going across the top that indicates that the app is working in offline mode, but also the little number 1 up there, which indicates that there is an offline transaction, one of them to be precise. And not only that, you'll see the little orange bar next to the outlet pressure that indicates there is a pending offline transaction for that meter reading. If we click on the little number 1 at the top, you can see we have a list of pending transactions. And if we click on that, you'll see it lists out the details there. If I swipe to the right, I can interact with these transactions. When I come back online here, I will get a process transactions button to process them, or I can simply go back to the home page and the transactions will process automatically for me. We look at the settings. The hours since last reading indicates 24 hours in which a reading will show that green bar that we saw. And then the app also implements paging, so the records to show indicates how many assets to pull at a time. And the default is 20. We also have an About button. This About button will just show you the URL that you're logged into, the version of the app, as well as the version of Maximo that you're on, which user you're logged into, and your default or organization and insert site. And finally, we have the ability to conduct an inspection. So when I click that conduct inspection, the first step is that I choose which route I want to perform. We're going to choose our quarterly pump service route. and it just confirms that I want to start that route. The first thing it'll do is present the first asset that's on the list with all of its meters, all of its active meters, I should say. And it shows you the meter name, the unit of measure, and the last reading there for you to make a decision on what needs to go in that box. So we're going to say 4250 is our pressure reading. Clear is the oil color. Our run hours actual is going to be 1000. And our thermal temperature reading is going to be 120 degrees. When we hit submit, the meter readings are captured to Maximo, and we move on to the next asset in the list. This one has an inlet pressure, an outlet pressure, and a delta reading for run hours. So we'll go ahead and say 500 there. This one simply has the delta for run hours associated with it. And on 100 degrees, and when we have completed all the different meter readings for every asset, we'll get a notice that says we've completed our round. Click OK to return to the home screen, and we'll be looking at the list of assets that we just did on our route. Thanks for watching this video on A3J Group's MxAsset from the MX Mobile suite of apps. For more information, you can go to our website at a3jgroup.com or connect with us on LinkedIn or Twitter. For inquiries, email info@a3jgroup.com or give us a call at 877-235-4774.